that could have maybe been the difference between going into this next game 2-0 or 1-1.
Well, we have our first
Wow,
Arden pick of the tournament
here.
coming on through, and it's by NA teams, not something that historically it's kind of an EU pick, but we are going to see Nova locking that one in.
Yeah, Nova gonna go ahead and grab the Arden, which is a little bit surprising. It's not a hero that they played a ton of because obviously, you know, they were usually playing the Batiste in the captain role. So a little bit different for them. We'll see how it's going to work out. I would still expect to see an Echo on him though.
I have to ask Squeegee, like, what is it that you think the reasoning is that they first picked this Arden? Because like, even if you're going to go for Arden, it's not something that's been contested this tournament.
Yeah, because they want Samuel with Arden to counter any type of like assassin like Taka. Samuel Arden is known to be very strong. And while Tempo Storm gets a super aggressive composition here, Adagio Fortress Glaive is extremely strong with the amount of burst damage that can come out of this. And Pedalway gets picked here, which is great.
Both of these teams know exactly what they want to do, and they are just, they went through this draft so quickly.
Is this a double CP then, or is it going to be a weapon Samuel? This would be very interesting to see the outcome. Or maybe it's a weapon Arden, Bacon.
I would love so much if it was a weapon Arden, but I don't think it would be because then you don't really want to have a Captain Pedal or a Captain Samuel. So
hey man, who needs captains, right? Just triple DPS. Seems unlikely. We could well see a double CP though, but I mean, let's try and recap these compositions because that draft went by like lightning. What is the playstyle here going to be coming out from these two teams, Squeegee?
Yeah, Fortress Glaive is an OP and OG composition. Fortress gives a nice speed buff when he lands Law of the, or Truth of the Two onto an enemy, and then Glaive can just rush them with it's like a boots speed buff, and then he can afterburn them into an Adagio, and then they can just burst him, and Fortress can just bleed him. So that's a lot of burst damage as long as they focus one target. They cannot split focus with that composition. Yeah,
and the opposite side very much about kiting with that petal. Well, we'll see whether that's going to be able to happen in this one. We're heading into the third game of the series. Tempo Storm 2-0 down. They're against the ropes, but they still have a chance of coming back in. Let's see if Nova can finish things off as we pass it to our casters.
Denominate, I may not be a color caster, I may not be an analyst, but I've noticed something about Nova. They've got this logo that looks like a fidget spinner. They've got teammates who fidget spin between the games, so maybe that is the secret to their success.
Maybe it is, getting your hands a little bit warmed up for the game, getting in here. It's a very interesting draft out of both teams though, and I'm very excited to see what we have going on here.
Certainly so. Aggression is what we got going on as Tempo Storm have decided they're coming straight on into it. Let's see what they can do. It's going to be Truth on the petal? Oh my goodness. All right, let's do it. Truth, show us what you've got. Hyde goes in for the engage, but he has to run away. Now it's going to be Nova looking to try and turn the fight. Gatsby taking a lot of damage here. This petal in the lane, trampolining forward, but Hyde going to secure that healing camp, which means he should be able to escape. Tempo not out of the woods just yet, as there goes that speed boost for Truth, a trampoline forward. Gatsby struggling as the Munyon does some work, but he is going to walk away. Hyde, can he? He secures? No, he does not. It means that he's not going to get that health, and Delphi's deciding, you know what, no chase, I'm just going to take the jungle, my friends.
Yeah, this has really been a signature pick for Delphi, man.
I said it too early.
Getting chased by Starboy.
6 seconds on his afterburn. Will he be able to escape? Delphi trying to secure this away. Hyde, he's just baiting Starboy, but is he baited too much? Oh, he is so low! And now Lost Boy's in trouble. What is this game, Delphi? Aggression on all fronts. Hyde, he is snuffed into the bush. If only Truth knew, that would have been a first blood. But he's sneaky peeky. Never mind. A kill finally happens. I can rest easy.
Yeah, turned out Starboy playing with his food a little bit too much. It is Hyde gonna make it out, but there was a lot of time wasted, and Gatsby drops now. Kill going over to Starboy.
All right, so the craziness of the beginning of this game is over, Denominate, but we still have some craziness to talk about. It's a weapon power petal in the lane. Try and tell me how this works.
It is difficult.
Right.
So now, there is a way it works because your trampoline actually does empower both your weapon power and your crystal power.
I'm gonna have to ask you to watch Hyde die as Lone Delphi walks in. His Samuel is so strong and he is looking to try and take over this jungle. Tempo Storm know they have to try and shut down this aggression, so Gatsby has been called down to the lane. Starboy going to come to cut off and try and help Lone Delphi. Lone Delphi, once he gets that Drifting Dark back up, he could win this, but he's going very low. Never mind, he will fall. And now Starboy has the hard task of running away from Hyde, who's going to have his Afterburn up to secure that kill for his team. 2 go over to Tempo Storm, 1 to Nova, and back to this weapon power pedal.
There's definitely a way it works with the trampoline. There is a lot of damage potential that can come out of Truth. However, he is going to be very squishy, and if he uses the trampoline to engage and get that additional weapon power, he is no longer going to have that to escape. Your Munions are pretty irrelevant here on a weapon power pedal, but if Truth is able to snipe out some clean damage here, use Pedal's long range to his advantage, this very well could work.
Like this, Gatsby struggling under the turret. Nova, a very peculiar pick, but one that seemingly is working out for them. Of course, this game very young, and we're yet to see exactly the effects of weapon power petal in the late game. It isn't going to be double CP, that's for sure.
It is not, and Gatsby is really going to have a good performance here on this Adagio. Hyde and Toph, obviously very aggressive duo on the Fortress and the Glaive. Can definitely get a huge burst of damage down if they're able to find a target. Truth is going to be on the correct side of that afterburn. Get punted into the turret. A little bit of a safe situation to happen there. And Delphi now level 6.
Exactly.
Oblivion is available.
And Hyde is level 4. He's not even close to getting level 5. He's only just hit level 4. This is a huge experience lead that Lone Delphi has been able to accrue for himself. And this is a great opportunity, really, for Nova to just take a strong early to mid aggression, because we know how strong Samuel is in the mid game, in the early game as well. It's just, Nova's got everything going for them. Breaking point picked up for Truth. Okay, he's going to be looking to stack up some quick damage, it seems.
The breaking point is nice for the attack speed. I'm just not sure it really gives you the best benefit with your trampoline increasing your base damage. A Sorrow Blade can really make a weapon pedal a threat early.
Right.
But obviously Truth with the range can make this breaking point work, as he's able to get a lot of attacks down. That'll allow him to ramp that breaking point up despite not having any raw weapon power available.
Perhaps as well, because of Lone Delphi's aggression, his damage, the Oblivion only puts minions to sleep. But Lone Delphi's damage compared to Hyde is just head and shoulders above. And so you can kind of sacrifice some damage maybe on the pedal for overall sustain. This could be the reasoning for the breaking point. This turret taking a bit of harass. Hyde moving in, trying to get aggressive. That's going to be a good afterburn. Lone Delphi pops that Drifting Dark, and he will just swag his way out. Gatsby, he's in trouble, gets the fountain, looking for Truth. But Truth on this petal, able to walk away. Lone Delphi as well has to be careful he doesn't find himself on the wrong end of an Agent of Wrath. Nova going to walk away with that single kill.
And one thing that really went wrong for Tempo Storm there was Hyde engaged and popped a level 5 infusion in hopes to find something and try to pull back an edge in their favor. He ends up dropping very early on, not able to find a kill even. So if they're not able to find something off the rest of this infusion, it's really going to be a wasted 500 gold, as Truth may now be working into a Tyrant's Monocle for his next item, Dowsy. That could be a lot of damage potential when you do overdrive this trampoline, and we see Truth is getting very close to doing so.
Just a level away from doing so. 2 levels, in fact, away from doing so. And he will be able to have that overdrive available on trampoline. Hyde, he's snuck himself into the bush, but Gatsby not quite there to help on out. Nova instead, they move over to this gold miner. Something they've had such great control is these objectives here, and it is just going to be the gold miner going their way. Tempo, they spotted out, but will they even risk it is the question. Seems like they are going to. Truth, can he secure this?
Immense gold.
No, he cannot. Tempo is still that away. This is a huge mistake versus Judgment. Doesn't find a kill, but that is going to be Oblivion putting Gatsby to sleep. Nova, that was a very peculiar thing to do. Just walk away from the gold miner.
Yeah, another thing that comes out of Truth. Oh, we got another fight break
yeah,
now.
Looks like Tempo Storm undone, but the Drifting Dark gonna come out. Lone Delphi laying down the damage, but Truth is there. Truth has to jump away. He is not there anymore. He is just outright dead. Areno Lost Boy Top will go very low. Can Nova turn this around with Delphi's damage alone? Only that Frostburn providing damage and slow. The Gold Miner gets involved. Nice by Gatsby just to hide behind it. It means that if Delphi wants to find any damage, he has to go through the Gold Miner. It won't be the case.
Yeah, one of the nice things here about the trampoline, it is steady damage over all 5 levels. It is 20% additional weapon power when you use it. The big thing is now with it overdriven for Truth, or as we get to it overdriven from Truth, we will give a 1.2 basic attack range to Petal. And that is absolutely huge for the side of Nova. Really going to abuse that range advantage, and this breaking point starts to make so much more sense. And it is a Monocle looking next to come out of Truth, so that'll be a big spike of damage as well.
Yes, so double the attack range all of a sudden for this Petal, as Truth almost with that overdrive on his trampoline. Breaking the meta we are here in Los Angeles. Exciting stuff for Nova. Fidget spinners really just churning the brains and getting the gears rolling.
And this is something that we've really known Nova for, is really to twist up the meta a little bit. Starboy, you know, we'd seen a couple teams before him use that Captain Baptiste. I think we originally seen it on SK in spring, and then on to Cloud9.
Gatsby, he's been caught out here. Can he escape is the question. A huge burst of judgment puts Truth in a compromising position. Hyde knocks him away. He's going to pick up that monocle as he does, but Starboy, he will go down. Lone Delphi now has to try and hold his own, and it's going to be that root triggered to stop tempo chasing into the jungle. Seems like this Petal just doesn't quite have the damage output. Really needs that second Torrent monocle, you feel, to have the burst that that can come out with each auto attack.
Yeah, it definitely can. This is a good position for Nova to be in, but Tempo has found a lot of pretty good fights and turnarounds for themselves. We are still pretty even on the objective game.
Delphi is caught out. This is not good for Nova whatsoever. Tempo still away another kill. They steal away the gold lead. They are now in charge of this vessel. Nova perhaps now going to be risking their turret.
Yeah, Nova definitely could be risking the turret. I was just about to say, we do have a little additional damage down on the Tempo side, but now as all 3 members are here, they're gonna get a good chunk down here, if not the whole thing, but Truth is here. Dowsy, can he do anything?
Has that attack range from the trampoline. Can he find Gatsby? The fountain comes out. No kills will go over, the turret will fall, and Tempo Storm will take a 1.7k gold lead. Does trampoline forward, does a bit of damage to Gatsby, a lot of damage in fact. The auto attack comes through and finds a shutdown. Not only a shutdown, it's going to be a turret very surely for Nova as well. Perhaps the attack of the pack just enough to scare them away, but look at that. Oblivion will secure it. Hyde blocks it up, goes on in, knocks the Minion away. That's not good news, and Hyde is dead. A bit of an error there, you could say. Nova with 2 kills and a turret equalize the goal lead, and they're going to move over towards the center of the map.
Yeah, and one of the difficult things for me here is Hyde on this glaive. You know, he's actually done a really decent job coming back in. It started off really, really badly for them. He's actually overdriven the cleave, the twisted stroke first. So the afterburn is still on a pretty sizable cooldown when it is used. However, he does have a base 25% crit chance in his pocket. So that is an interesting choice, especially when you're playing on the back foot. You really want that afterburn to either make a heavy engage, and then it'll be up sooner if you need to make that disengage and get out of a fight.
Perhaps the choice can then be accompanied by your item decisions rather than going towards a tornado trigger or a monocle. You've already got that crit chance from your ability, so a tension bow can provide a bit of pierce and a bit of damage instead, and you're getting the best of both worlds. Interesting stuff coming out this game for sure. Truth, he has the goal to finish his second Tyrant's monocle. I am so intrigued at how this weapon power Petal continues to scale into the game, because I think it would be a shame for Nova to reveal such a unique strategy and then lose with it in a series where they've been so clean.
Well, that second monocle is now online for Truth, so we'll be able to see really what it is able to bring to the table now. Breaking Point Double Monocle is an older build that really had a lot of success at one point, and man, one basic attack on the Gatsby, that's a pretty sizable amount of damage.
Yeah, Nova looking for the fight here. That Oblivion and that Gauntlet could cause trouble for the side of Tempo. Goldminer will go to Tempo. Now the fight is engaged. Attack of the pack, they're charging forward. Gauntlet will stop them, trap them, but the Oblivion will not. And Tempo now to escape a little. Can Nova continue the chase? It's the question. Delphi with that Frostburn slows the team down. And Gatsby just putting on a brave face as Truth goes forward and trades his life. Hyde has to use that Afterburn defensively, but he's taking that damage from the Malison Verdict. Hyde needs to escape here. Tills away that Treant for the healing. Nova just going to find the 1-for-1 trade. They're looking for a Crystal Sentry. Hyde, I don't think, can really stop it either, so it is going to be objectives traded, but the most important thing is that that gold miner did go to Tempo.
Yeah, it was a really good steal. Again, we talked about Tempo being a little bit on the back foot, but Hyde comes through that additional crit and the basic attack reset on that Twisted Stroke, able to help them secure it. We still have a slight gold lead for Tempo Storm, nothing major, but overall, this is really anybody's game right now. Truth on this weapon pedal, very off meta. Looks like he, you know, he does have a reflex block. He also has a additional Oakheart here. Might even be working towards a War Treads or a Crucible for his team.
Very interesting. I am intrigued for sure. A Crucible. Starboy does not have one of those. In fact, he has the Dragon Heart stacking up for himself. Looking to just be a very tanky Arden. Man, 15 minutes rounding the clock very shortly, Denominate. Tempo Storm have stolen objective after objective. Nova so happy to start them up to bait fights, but they haven't been securing them, and that has been an issue, I think, in the last 2 games for Nova. Can't really start up a Kraken and then just accidentally let the other team steal it away.
Yeah, and that's something Tempo has done good. They've been really good at stealing those objectives. Lost point off with the Kraken steal earlier. Maybe not the best situation they could have ended up in, but then Hyde comes through with a gold mine. And now Tempo looking to get another gold mine under their belt, extending their lead a little bit more. You know, we're back at about 1,000 gold. It's been very back and forth though so far, Dowsy. And you know, Truth's really going to have to show us that he can make this weapon pedal work, and face-checking a bush is not going to be the way to do so.
Hyde's going to go for the aggression. That gauntlet comes down, but it's blocked on up. Lost Boy he's separated from his team, but Tempo want to go in. Oblivion avoided, Lone Delphi going low, and Tempo with the HP advantage, but not quite in range. Truth and Gatsby just tagging each other. Lone Delphi with some damage indeed, and Gatsby very low. Should be able to escape, you feel, but Lone Delphi's going to try it nonetheless. Push Tempo back further and further. They've got no minion wave to push this turret. It is coming down the lane. Perhaps they can wait for it and try and steal something away. But with Lone Delphi taking a scout trap to his feet, that will just be enough to force Nova away.
Yeah, it will be enough to force them away, and as those breaking point stacks came out of Truth, it's really starting to ramp up the damage, and he has gone towards neither a War Treads or a Crucible here. Instead has gone for the Shiver Steel, trying to keep opponents in range so that he can build up those broken myth stacks quickly with the amount of critical damage he does. And this is going to be interesting to see going forward, Dowsy. This is something that we obviously haven't seen before in quite some time. Weapon Power Pedal was once a thing. Way back in like the 1.2, 1.1 era. But, you know, so far Nova looks like they know what they're doing.
Certainly seems like they have a game plan. That is for sure, but Shiver Steel, a very peculiar item. Did get changed in 2.7, the cooldown reduced by 3 seconds, the slow duration increased by 2.2 seconds, so definitely a buff goes over to the Shiver Steel just to provide a bit more viability. Perhaps those changes are just enough. To me, it's no longer overlooked as an item in Vainglory. Truth certainly making a case for it. This Kraken's still there on the Halcyon Fold. This has been the messiest game of them all so far, Denominate, and you could say in part it is due to the off-meta pick that Nova have brought to the fold. They are ready to try and show its worth. Truth going to be knocked back. The Gauntlet finds a good range. That's an Oblivion putting Gatsby to sleep, but Truth cannot escape Hyde. Lone Delphi stuck in the middle. Aversive Judgment blocked, but it is going to be Delphi falling nonetheless. And that's Tempo Storm looking for a ace. Starboy cannot steal the kill from Hyde, and that is an ace and a Kraken now for Tempo.
A Kraken for Tempo Storm, as well as Gatsby rotating up to the lane, trying to get an additional turret down before the Kraken is even there, which is going to prevent that instant damage spike. As we get into this replay, though, we have to look at the positioning of Truth. He does take a lot of damages, very low. Gauntlet comes through, and he jumps way separated from his team here. Hyde and Lost Boy Top turn their attention. It's going to be an easy kill going over to them. And then Delphi, in the middle of this Verse of Judgment, takes a huge spike of damage, and that's really where Tempo Storm was able to take the fight. They clean up the ace onto Starboy, and now Kraken Unleashed, turret down. This is looking pretty good for Tempo Storm, and they need this really good execution here if they want to take us to a game number 4 with Nova.
Certainly do. They were ahead for the majority of that mid to late game against Nova in game 2 here, but they weren't able to close it out. This time, the issues of not being able to complete a broken myth for Hyde isn't there. He hasn't quite finished his 3rd offensive item, but on this glaive, it's not really an issue because he does so much with his CC just alone. This Kraken is not even being touched by Nova as this turret looks to fall. A good block on the Oblivion. Nova cannot quite get the aggression they want, but it's enough to push Tempo away. Nova very happy just to take that choke point turret and the turret they received earlier as their victory here and continue to have a gold lead, which is 2,000 over their opponents.
It is 2,000 over their opponents, and the downfall to Truth's build here, besides the fact that it's a weapon pedal, going the Shiver Steel route, you don't actually have any defense. You do have additional health pool, but you're not reducing any incoming damage. So yes, it does help you survive a little bit. I'm kind of not seeing the Shiver Steel have the effect we want, though. It's not really being used where Pedal is safe enough to be able to chase down a target that is slowed by the attack. So it's kind of interesting here out of Nova. I definitely think they have potential here, especially once Starboy hits level 12. We'll have an additional 10-second cooldown taken off of that gauntlet.
Once Truth finishes his Aegis, there's definitely going to be some reduction onto Gatsby's damage, but he just doesn't have the gold to do so yet. Nova continuously on the back foot. Hyde, another great afterburn, and Truth, he is dead! Deleted by that burst. Low Delphi goes down as well. Gatsby on this Adagio looking for a triple, but it will be taken away by Hyde, and Gatsby will kiss that triple away. Tempo, they've done it, Denominator. They're going to march into the base of Nova and take away game 3 here. We have a series on our hands now. We'll have to see how Tempo can continue the momentum they've won with this game 3 victory.
Yeah, taking us to game number 4 is definitely huge for Tempo. Gotta be a lot of morale back in another side here. As, obviously Nova taking those first 2 games very cleanly. It's nice to see Tempo turn things around here, really showing, Lost Boy Top came out huge in that game for me on this Fortress.